Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've been on. I don't think I posted on this new channel. My daughter took over my old channel, so I went ahead and let her have that, and I'm going to, for a while, continue to post on both. But this is going to be my new channel, so if you have been following me along, hit subscribe and the notification bell if you want notified. I wanted to come on here real quick. We've had a busy day. I've been cleaning and we're getting ready to run to the airport. I am off today. I wanted to get on and kind of explain, have a little heart-to-heart, what in the world is going on with my hair. I apologize. Of exactly why it is that we moved and why we moved so quickly, and we didn't tell anyone, and we didn't even really have a chance to get boxes. We kind of just threw things in the car and just headed out. So most of you know that about a year ago, we decided to move to Colorado, back to Colorado for me, or back west. I lived, near Colorado, and spent a lot of time in Colorado, and I really loved it here. And I wanted to come back out to spend some time. My family's getting older, and our kids are getting older, and not that I'm expecting to be a grandparent soon, but they are getting older, and I thought it's now or never. So we did come back out. We moved down here about a year ago, and when we came out, I actually just got an apartment in Loveland, and it was working out pretty well. The first few months were really nice. There were different things that they don't have anywhere where I'm from, like the heated saltwater pools and the yoga studios in-house and theaters and offices and all this, unbelievable stuff right there in our house. And we had a little condo. It was pretty much a little 2-bedroom box. We were paying a ridiculous amount of money for it, but we were paying for all the extra stuff. So it did seem like a good idea, and we did get to use it sometimes before COVID hit. And so it's been quite interesting living in Colorado. So since we've been out here, COVID hit, the mountains caught fire up near Waikolo and all that place where I used to spend time and just love it up there. And we had a fire here in Fort Collins, Estes Park. It was just crazy. Like the whole place was just burning, and it was really sad. But we're happy because we got some snow and it's contained, and it's doing better. As far as the apartment goes, the reason why we moved is I was under the impression that my lease was a year long, so I moved in November 26th, so I was expecting of 2019 my lease to be up somewhere around November 2020. And so COVID hit, and we're spending a lot of time in the apartment, and it was just take two. Who's editing this for me? Are you? Okay, thanks. I wish our video had Snapchat filters, because I could use a filter. Somebody throw me a filter.
You have makeup on. You don't need a filter.
I need a filter, even with makeup on. Okay, so anyway. So we moved to these apartments. The first few months, everything was really good. No complaints. Just some little things. I mean, we took Jax over to the off-leash dog park. He played with other dogs. We had a grand old time. A lot of people don't put their dogs on leashes, and, we would mention to them, please put your dog on a leash. And they're like, oh, notifications. Oh, they're friendly. And I'm like, yeah, but rules are rules. We always follow the rules. And just some little things like we had our paddleboard and kayak out on the porch for a couple days drying, and they were like, no, you can't leave that out there. And just stupid, petty little things like that. Like I was standing in the doorway and one of them walked by and they were like, he can't be out here by himself, and just petty. I'm like, I'm in the doorway. I'm not going to argue with you. I have too many things to do. So just stupid things like that. Jocelyn was coming out, and I explained to one of the managers, I said, she's coming out, and she's, she was on swim team. She's a nurse. She wants to swim with her little sister. And they were like, no, if you want her to swim, put her on the lease. And just little things like that, just, and I think they said so that the utilities would be shared equally, depending on how many people are on the lease, and just stupid stuff like that. And it's like, okay, so petty stuff, but COVID has everyone on edge, and we did just move here, and I'm trying to keep positive and tell everyone that, it is, people are nice in Colorado for the most part. We just happened to, when we got here, run into a few bad apples. But so here lately, when I first moved here, I actually had talk with my doctor. The whole reason why I moved to Colorado, one of the main reasons was my asthma. And we moved into this apartment, and it did have carpeting, and we realized how bad the carpet was for my asthma. And we knew that all along. That's why we replaced the carpeting with hardwood floors in our old home. You're welcome, Casey, if you're watching this.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I thought you were like, are you live?
No.
Okay. You said Casey, and I was like,
No, I'm not live. And so, sorry for the interruptions. Joys of working from home, right? And so, I had seen Brittany and Eric outside, and this was about the same time that I had asked, if my older daughter could swim with Hannah. Hannah is 14. She is on the swim team. We have a boat. She's a pretty good swimmer. The pool was only like 3 feet, and they wouldn't even let her inside the gate unless I was there. I tried to explain to them that I was coming, that I was on an important phone call, and I was on my way, and I don't know what was said, but Hannah hasn't been back to the pool since, and she didn't even swim while we were there. She was like, let's go. She was upset, and we left, and she wouldn't go back. And most of you that know me know that, I'm pretty easygoing, I'm pretty fair, but the one thing that I can't stand more than anything in the world is a bully, and I just can't back down from this. So that's why I am outreaching everyone and explaining kind of what happened and what my idea is to resolve it, and also to give you some ideas of how you can help, because everyone keeps outreaching me on how they can help, and I appreciate everyone's assistance, and requested assistance for financial, legal. It's truly appreciated. But I want this to mean something other than we stood up to a bully. I want this to be something bigger and matter. So the story is that about a year ago, like I said, I had run into Brittany and Eric outside, out on the patio. I was on the patio, they were in the pool. And I explained to them that, I had a doctor's order, and I wanted to request a reasonable accommodation for, asthma really bad, and that I would cover the cost of the flooring to be removed and to put cheap linoleum flooring down, or whatever they wanted to down, because the cost would actually offset the extra medications, the ER visits, all this extra stuff that you have to deal with when you have asthma. And I told them, I said, basically the carpets are pretty much ruined anyway from cleaning them so much, and we have to use special hypoallergenic cleaners, and it was just, I said, let me do this. I'll cover the cost, and you're gonna have to replace the carpets anyway when we leave. And it's an ADA unit. And we got that one. My daughter and I, neither one of us turned in our ADA paperwork. It was just kind of a fluke that we ended up with that. The facility there was not aware that we have any type of issues or health issues or anything. It was just kind of a fluke. I wanted by the pool so that I could see her, swim while I was working. So Eric, the maintenance worker there, was like, I think he's on my Facebook. He was like, fantastic. He was like, oh yeah, of course, if you have a doctor's order, we can definitely take it into consideration. I've seen, stranger things happen, and it's definitely worth a shot. And Brittany, the assistant manager, she was like, no. And so and that never got taken care of. I also asked Eric while he was there, actually I asked both of them, I said, can you remove some of the shrubbery from my daughter's window? It looked like somebody had taken some shrubbery and placed it or threw it on the rocks there so that they could walk on it without being heard. My dog, and we would have heard somebody walking on the rocks, but my daughter Hannah did have a peeping Tom there. This was about a year ago, and we did bring it to their attention. And you don't want me to say anything?
No, not a year ago.
How long was it ago?
Like 5 months.
No.
4 months.
You went home for the summer. It was before you went home for the summer.
It was before the second time I went home.
We've had a lot of issues. Anyway, sorry again for the interruption. Before she went home for the summer, she did have a peeping Tom, which is one of the reasons why we let her go home for the summer, because we knew that she didn't feel comfortable there, and we completely understood. And we were hoping that management would, be a little understanding and say, yes, you can put a camera up there, a security camera up, or you can, remove some of the shrubbery yourself, or maintenance can come do it. And at the time, Eric was like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize how bad the shrubbery was. He's like, I'm so sorry. We will get over here and we will fix it. Eric was actually, he no longer works there, so he wasn't able to come back and take care of it for us. There is another maintenance man there. His name is Brian, and he's wonderful, and we just adore him, and we wish him the best. And if he does happen to see this, thank you for everything. He helped me move some furniture in my apartment when I first moved out here and was all alone, and he was just fantastic. I was telling him about, not feeling safe and the disability paperwork, and kind of being a little bit bullied by management staff, and he went over and actually cleared all the shrubbery for me. We helped him, and it was wonderful. He came with another maintenance person that's in this story, Tammy, about a year ago when I first moved in and I was there alone, and he brought her over. He said she was recently bitten by a German Shepherd. So she was scared of them, and he wanted her to meet Jack so that if she saw him out and about, she wouldn't be afraid. And we had seen her out and about. He was at the off-the-leash dog park playing with other dogs, having a good old time, and she was over there cleaning up dog poop. But she must not have realized that he was over there. So she did come over, to kind of meet him, and I did, go over some things with her about, big dogs, like not, approaching them in a non-threatening way, and things to try to help her. So long story short, all of this had been going on, and we were getting irritated by the day, but we knew there was an ends to a means, and that our lease would probably be up in November, and that we would be able to get the hell out of there and find somewhere else that we were safe and felt safe. And so we didn't really think too much of it. So around the end of September, I had asked the people there at the office, I said, when is our lease is up? We're not comfortable here. We don't want to stay here anymore. We can't wait to get out of here. We do not want to renew our lease. I want to know what the process is so that we can get out of here. I've heard that they screw people over pretty badly, and I just want to confirm that I am really familiar with the process, and they have a lot of ins and outs that only they are privy to. So I wanted to just know. And so they were aware that we were unhappy and that we wanted to move out. And I honestly don't see how they couldn't be. I mean, I haven't talked to anyone that lives there that's been happy. Maybe, I don't know. Somebody, I don't know. So, October 11th, we had our second flood in the apartment building. And at 4 o'clock in the morning, it was raining from the lights. And by the time the office opened, I had called, the rain had stopped, the leak had stopped, and we just kind of cleaned it up. And we called the apartment complex just to let them know, there was a leak. It did resolve. We are cleaning it up. We're trying our best to prevent any structural damage. The carpets are kind of a mess, so it would be nice if someone can come in and clean them up. We did use a shop vac, but I do have asthma, and since she refused to, help me out anyway with the carpets, it would be nice if someone can come in and, kind of suck up some of the water. And at that time, Tammy, the girl that's afraid of German Shepherds, she came in. I guess the main manager of the place was off, so it was kind of like a shitstorm, so to speak. And so Tammy came over by herself, and she took a look. She felt the carpets. Yeah, they're wet, and she left. And then a couple days later, on the 13th, she came back with a gentleman from a carpet cleaning place. They came in, they felt the carpet, they looked at me and said, we're gonna bring a fan in, and they walked out. And I'm like, okay, I'm working, so, it's been 2 days with wet, soaking, yucky carpet and the drywall dripping off the ceiling. I really don't think at this point it really matters. They know that, I just want the hell out of here. And so they came in, the girl came back with a fan and set the fan up and said, just leave it run until about 8 o'clock and then, turn it off and it should help. And I'm like, okay. Huge industrial size, loud, obnoxious fan. But hey, if that's the best they can do, we were like, okay, thanks. And so they left. A couple days later, I was expecting her to come back in and do something like the drywall that was, it was structural damage. I will include pictures. I will include pictures of everything. It was just awful. I was expecting someone to come back, and she did. She actually didn't. I called and said, I'm leaving your fan outside. It's loud. We're in this tiny little apartment. We're stepping over it. We're bumping it. I'm leaving it outside. There's a bunch of yahoos, so I would advise you to try to get over here to get it as soon as possible, but I can't stand it in the middle of my bedroom anymore. And so I left it outside. And then later that day, she came back and she scraped off the wet part of the ceiling and puttied over it. I think she let it dry for a couple hours, and then she came back and puttied over it, and then left. So it looked awful. It was disgusting. The floors was disgusting. The ceiling looked disgusting. And I was like, oh, well, from what I heard, these people are not going to, offer me my security deposit back anyway. And, I haven't heard good things about Move Out with them. So I was like, you know what, just let it go. They can fix it when they come in. I'm tired of, I kept putting a work order in. It kept getting canceled because they didn't know how to do it. And so I was like, you know what, heck with it. I don't want to be the person that complains. I'm just going to leave it. And so on November 6th, like I said, we thought that our rent was a year-long lease. And so I had the automatic payments set up to come out for like a year until we thought our lease was up and that we would be able to go. Come to find out, it's not up till February. So we were stuck there for a little while. And by this time we were like, nope, we're done. We're gonna start looking because this place is awful. And we did find some other good places, but again, they were the big, big companies, no personality, no personal touch. It was just, here's all my paperwork by my #1 attorney in Colorado with all the fine print, read through it and sign it. And if you don't like it, oh well. And we didn't want another one of those. So we were looking a lot. And I went to the office on November 6th to pay rent for November because, like I said, I didn't realize that it wasn't coming out. And they said, well, the manager here is going to call you about the dog attacks. And I'm like, what dog attacks? And I'm thinking, oh my God, my daughter was attacked by a dog, or what happened? You know, I kept thinking Hannah was attacked by a dog. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And they're like, when the two people were in the apartment on October 11th for a split second, they walked in, felt the carpet, and walked out. They actually claimed that Jax viciously attacked them both. And I'm like, well, that's impossible. He was leashed on a 3-foot leash, his leash that says do not pet, because he's an ASA. And it's impossible. He was by my side the whole time. I mean, we would have known. Hannah, we would have known something. I mean, come on. And so I kind of laughed it off. And then, you know, Brittany, she's, I just thought, man, this is just another bullying attempt. Blah, you know, we're out of here pretty soon anyway. And she, you know, so come to find out, we started asking more questions, and it wasn't very long after that Pamela, the manager of the apartment complex, did call on my work line, which is a recorded line, and said, you know, we are going to tell you that, you know, you have to remove your ESA from the premises in 10 days because he viciously attacked 2 people. And I'm like, I have on tape on my WebExes and things that he wasn't anywhere near them. He was with me, and waited a month to complain. Why? And the manager said, well, it took us a month to, you know, convince the guy from the carpet cleaning place to file an incident report. He said it wasn't really that big of a deal, and he didn't even realize what it was. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. And you're telling us that we have to leave in 10 days. And she is like, I said, this is absolutely ridiculous. And I said, you know what, I filed with the, you know, I'm going to file, I'd already sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Justice, and I had already talked to an attorney, but I didn't have representation at that time because I kind of knew Pamela was going to be calling on a blocked number, they said. And so I had talked to a few people, and I was trying to make sense of it. And they were like, Georgiana, you don't have anything in writing. This is just hearsay. This is just the girls bullying again. You need something in writing that says you have to, you know, something in writing. You can't just let them bully you. And I'm like, well, they've been bullying us for a year, so really not much I can do about it. And we just kind of let everything go up until this point. And so when she said, you know, you have to remove Jax or ESA within 10 days, I was like, well, we have to move in 10 days. I can't, what am I supposed to do with them? I mean, what am I supposed to do with them? What the hell? I was like, show me. They were like, well, we have pictures. I'm like, show me your pictures. And they're like, no, they're for us only. I'm like, you guys are so full of shit. You know what happened is the manager was out. God only knows, they said for personal reasons, okay? And the assistant manager, who has bullied us for an entire year, and the girl Tammy from maintenance was sitting over in the office by themselves, running amok over there, not doing what they were supposed to be doing. And they sat there and got together and was like, oh, I have to go back to that house again. I don't like that dog. Well, let's just say that he bit you. And that way they have to move out. Not realizing that I have everything on video. I have documentation of everything. And I told them that. I said, look, I know this isn't true, and I don't want to fight with you. I don't want a legal battle. We're going to go ahead and move out. But, you know, if you continue to claim this and you continue to, you know, state this, then game on. He's like my child. I was like, I don't like bullies. I'll fight. I just as a matter of principle, I will spend my entire savings account just to prove you're wrong. And so anyway, so long story short, you know, I did outreach to the ADA. He is an ESA, so I was able to file, you know, and just the normal stuff, HUD, Better Business Bureau, the U.S. Department of Justice, because he is an ESA. I did outreach to everyone. I did talk with multiple attorneys, and you know, I think I have everything situated. I did receive a letter from them. And from their attorney, actually, because when I was speaking with the manager and she had told me that we had 10 days to get Jax out of the house, she said, I will fight this. I was like, I know you don't have, and I know he didn't do this, and I will fight you tooth and nail for this. And she said, well, I'm going to hang up now. And she disconnected. And so it's just been awful. And, and like I told them, I said, what if you guys did this to someone who doesn't have the resources that I do and doesn't have the balls that I do to fight this? And it just baffles me. I hate bullies more than anything in the world. And that is the one thing that I will stand up to. So, another long story short, we're outreaching everyone that we could think of to, have assistance legally, financially, everything that we possibly could. And that's how we ended up in this freaking amazing house. And, a lot of good things have come from that. So, it actually worked out so far in our favor, but we did get a letter from, the attorney's office that represents, this apartment complex. They are the #1 attorney agency in Colorado. And they sent a letter and they were like, so about your request for to remove the carpeting and replace with hardwood flooring. We assume this is a reasonable accommodation request, and here's the paperwork for it. Now, that was over a year ago, okay? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. We already moved out. We had 10 days. We threw everything in the car and left. And like I said, everything just kind of fell into place when we started talking with different people and reporting it and talking to different people. The community just kind of came together to make sure that we could, get out of there and get somewhere where we felt safe. And so it was a blessing in disguise. And they also said in the letter, you are to control your dog. If you don't, we may ask you to vacate him from the premises in 10 days. We may ask you. Now, we've already been told we have 10 days on a recorded line from the manager. And so now the attorney comes back. He's like, we might tell you that. We might have to after we've already moved. So they said, oh, we'll waive your fee for breaking your lease. If you agree to fill out the forms for a non-disclosure, a bunch of other fancy stuff, that only attorneys use, just fine print crap that they can, put in some, I don't know. But anyway, so they broke the lease and they're telling me that if I sign a non-disclosure and don't tell anyone about this, now news is already out. Everyone knows about this. The U.S. Department of Justice, HUD, Better Business Bureau, everyone knows about this. I have sent letters explaining the entire situation from beginning to end to everyone that I possibly could. And they asked for a non-disclosure, and they'll waive the fee at, for the termination, early termination or whatever. And legally, before you guys jump on me, I know that they're the ones that broke the lease, not me. I know. I've already been told. I've talked to many attorneys. I've talked to, you wouldn't believe who I've talked to over this, okay? So, long story short, I was bullied. We were bullied at the old apartment. We left. We found something better. We are taking the steps that we need to hold them accountable. In the meantime, I want something good to come out of it. And what I chose is to come up with a plan to cover the cost for the break-in lease and the fees that they're going to charge for kicking Jax out early, months early, within 10 days. I am actually going to start a GoFundMe account so that everyone that has requested to help, and many of you have, and you've just been freaking amazing, and thank you. But I am going to start an account for GoFundMe for Jax to pay the fees and everything that's going to go back and forth with this. If every attorney that I've spoken with, everybody that I've spoken with is correct, and they will be held accountable for this. The money that is donated will go to a local charity here in Colorado that provides, they match up veterans with PTSD, and they provide them with ESA dogs that are personalized to them, like Jax. So that is the way that you can help. You can donate to Jax, and like I said, if we end up not using it, and I will keep the website updated, and you know me, everything will be documented and up there correctly, then the money will go to a good cause. Let's see, I think that's about the only way that, you know, we could want any help, and even if it's just $1, it's just more of a support thing than anything. What else? So I will include all the information as I am permitted to per my legal representation, because I want to make sure that this doesn't happen to somebody else. So what if there is a 60-year-old man with PTSD who is a veteran that moves into that place, and he is asked to leave within 10 days because they make up a story and bully him out of there, and he doesn't have the right resources or the financial means to fight them? That is why I'm stopping this. And I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, you know, just leave the comments below, and I'll, you know the drill, I'll answer as best that I can, and I will continue to send updates. And also, we are on our way to the airport. What time is it?
4:42.
We're on the way to the airport to we have some secret family and friends flying in for the Thanksgiving. And we're gonna go get them, and we're so excited, and have a fantastic time. Stay on your own YouTube channel.
We all need a few minutes.
So what do you think about the whole situation with
It's annoying. Stressful.
It's very stressful. It's been very stressful, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate bullies more than anything. More than anything.
Gotta say, it was a lot easier moving across the country than down the street.
So, that's our story. That is the explanation of why we moved and why we moved so quickly. It was not a safe environment. We didn't feel safe there. We weren't safe there. We needed to find something different. And by telling our story of why we didn't feel safe, we were able to come up and fall into this amazing, gorgeous home. Yeah. So that's our story, and we will keep you updated. In the meantime,
Bye.